Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this week's episode of the Gym Owners Podcast. I'm your host, Tyler Stone. Over there is John Fairbanks. How you doing, John?
I'm doing excellent, Tyler.
John has made it back to the East Coast after his weekend trip into the land of Massonomics here in the Midwest.
It was amazing.
Glad you made it home. It was a good time. So we helped. Well, we didn't help. We came and attended. I say put together, but Massonomics put together a very high level, very fun powerlifting contest here in the middle of the boonies in Massonomics headquarters, Western Northeast, South Dakota. John came down to visit, business trip. Timing worked out great, so we could check out the powerlifting meet as well. And fun was had all the way across the board, which is why what we're going to talk about today is something that we kind of experienced this weekend. Is something we've also done for gyms that we work with, as well as for my gym. We've done these types of things, and it's something we see done well. It's something I see very often done very poorly, and that is using events, social outings, and gatherings to grow your gym, to simply like nurture your local community, to get attention to your gym, whatever that is. But there's a social component to this that I think is really great. But a lot of gym owners do it wrong. A lot of gym owners simply just don't get enough out of it. So hosting events, hosting competitions, doing social outings, that's what we're going to cover today. Before we get started, make sure you go to gymownersrevolution.com. That's where if you want to join the Gear Academy or learn more about it, it's sitting there. So that's our coaching group for gym owners doing gym owner things, taking their gyms to the very next level. We also have the Gym Owners blog that sits there, as well as all of the old transcripts and all of the archives of the Gym Owners podcast. In the link in our description, make sure you go to the Gym Owners Revolution Facebook group. That's where we keep you up to speed on all the cool stuff we got coming up very soon. And follow the show at the Gym Owners Podcast on Instagram. Follow me at Tyler F. and Stone. That's Tyler E-F-F-I and Stone. And John?
You can follow me at JBanksFL.
All right, guys. So this weekend was Meathead Powerlifters, a very nice, clean event as far as like the experience was very professional. You guys have been to a lot of local contests and local meets where I'm kind of okay with this, it being just like a simple little in-house thing. There's not a lot of bells and whistles. It's just kind of fun. It's almost like a mock meet for a lot of the things that I see gyms doing in-house. There's nothing wrong with that. Unless you want to be cooler, unless you want to really get attention. And there's a book I really like people read. It's called Conversational Capital. It's how to make things that make people, how to create things that people talk about. And one of the things is you really got to over deliver, and it's not all very expensive. Sometimes it's just a matter of making things look clean, crisp, really, really professional. And that can go as simple. John, let's talk some of the attention to detail that we saw kind of at this meet that made it very next level. And I'm going to start with a few things. First off, backdrops, big, nice, cool backdrops, really good design for the contest, well-branded stuff. The setup of the event was very professional. You had a very large competition platform, very nice, solid equipment. It was set up to be spectator friendly, whereas a lot of these things are kind of stuffed in a small hotel convention area, or if you're at a CrossFit affiliate, it's just kind of like working around your rigs, and there's still all your normal shits laying around, and that kind of sucks.
There was never an issue of being able to see it. Like we had seating on the floor, and then you also had stadium seating because of the venue that they chose. Yeah. So it allowed you to be elevated, and those stands were always full. Like it was always full because that's where people sat. And then if you wanted to be closer and get sweat on and the heat was overwhelming, you could, but it was very easy to be able to enjoy whatever the lift was, including bench press, which is usually just crotch shots and ass.
Yeah. Well, there's always the dilemma when you're hosting a powerlifting meet. Do we deliver the crotch, or do we make it so nobody can see? The answer is turn them around. We don't need to see their head. We just need to see the bar move. It's okay. Bench press is boring to watch no matter who's doing it at all levels. So it's okay. Yeah. Now, it is interesting when you're hosting, we're going to get into more than just competitions, of course, here today, but I want to stay on this tip because while we kind of recap the weekend here, there's two types of people that you're catering to here when you host an event like this. One is the athletes. Now, the athletes for a powerlifting meet kind of probably need to come first because that is where most of your money's coming from. Most of their wives, girlfriends, families, parents, cousins, friends are not on the verge of getting into powerlifting. So if you do want to have a good event and have it be something that people continue to show up for, you do need to cater to the interests of the lifters. which means you need to have a really nice kind of package for them. You give them apparel. It should feel clean. The system should be organized. The warm-up area was great. Really nice top level equipment. They did not compromise on that at all. So there was tons of space, tons of extra equipment. The event itself ran extremely smoothly, which when you have good event organizers on the back end, that's great, whether you use a federation or whether you DIY it. Loaders and spotters are extremely important. So you need a ton of volunteers so that the team can turn things over fast.
And they were lightning.
And they were lightning fast. Now that rolls over into the second group of people that you need to make happy when you're hosting an event, and that is the people in attendance. People watching, spectators. Now, man contests, they take forever. They're normally 8 hours usually, right? This one ran 9 to 3. You're looking at 6 hours for this, this one here. So it still is a long day. It's a long day, but there's no getting around it, especially in powerlifting. But then you need to do something for the spectators. First off, you need to understand that nobody is staying for the whole thing. It's not true. No, very few people are going to come and go, yeah, I'm just going to go check this thing out. If they don't know somebody doing it, they're not going to be there the whole time. So the rest of the stuff that goes around it should be, if someone comes in for an hour or two, can their experience be a good one? And I think the Massonomics crew did a really good job with this. Is what they did was they had great music, good sound setup. They had solid MCs, so the thing moved pretty quick. The event moved quick, so it stayed exciting. The details were there was great booths with good products to buy. And for those of you out there having merch, not just for the meet, but for other sponsors, other vendors, whatever, when people are in a captive environment like that, and they get a little bored or they need a little bit of break and they'll walk in. I have bought shirts for powerlifting meets that I didn't compete in when I was just there, and they were ugly, but I just bought them because I bought a white shirt from a powerlifting meet one time, and I have a hard opposition to white shirts because I'm too messy and gross. And I was like, well, I'm here. I might as well. I wore the thing once, never wore it again. So it is just, it's good for the vendors to have things set up there. You give people something to do, have food, like you can cover all the basics, but if you can just level them up a little bit, it goes really far. These guys had 2 giant pillars of fire so that if anybody hit their second or third deadlift attempt, massive 10, 15 foot flames go flying up. You always forget how hot that shit is, even if you're like in the back row. You're like,
hot fire is. Fire's hot.
Fire's a lot hotter than I thought it was going to be. But those attentions to details now makes where someone comes in and they goes, I've never even been. If that's your first powerlifting meet to go see, and it's like a friend of a friend is competing, and you go check it out, you're like, holy shit, that was cool. Like no matter what is cool. People are fired up. People are yelling. So I think understanding the difference between who you're trying, that you need to deliver for 2 very different types of people, just for the sake of the event, by the way. This isn't about the things we're going to get into next. But for the sake of the event, you really need to over deliver, and you need to craft a solid and enjoyable experience for everybody, not just worrying about how you can. This is the thing I always hated about CrossFit, the way they handle a lot of their contests is it's more about finding the fittest person and the workouts going off than it is like, can this be fucking entertaining at all? There's nothing less interesting than imagine going to the CrossFit Games a few years ago and they have a marathon row. Fuck you. Now, great, it's all about the test of fitness, but don't ever fucking ask somebody to pay money to go sit in a goddamn stadium and watch people sit on ass for hours. It's crazy, right?
Like NASCAR, but way less beer.
So on the other extreme end of this is what we've done with powerlifting meets that we had hosted, that Tanner had put on it with Massonomics before. We went the opposite direction, purely spectator friendly. Purely, that's all it was. The events went so fast. There's 2 things that happen in strongman contests. When you have a strongman competition, either everybody's worried so much about the lifters' experience that everybody gets enough time to warm up. And if we're going to go to the log, in between events, everybody gets to practice with the log for an hour. And then the lightweights go up, and then they do their lifts. And then when the lightweights are done, they let the middleweights come in and practice with the log again. So there's just all this downtime, and it sucks. So what we did with every Massonomics powerlifting meet was we said, absolutely not. You as the lifter are on, it is your responsibility to be warm. We do not fucking care. Now, we'll do everything we can to facilitate you getting warm. We do have equipment, but there will never be a moment where things are not happening on the lifting floor.
Yeah.
And trust me, as a guy who's competed a lot, like those are my favorite meets, because once I start, I just want it to continue powering forward. I would rather have to go out and with a little less rest than I wish I had, than wait 3 hours between lifts, which very often in a five, I've had many 12-hour strongman contests for 5 events. You can't even convince your wife to stay.
No way.
Crazy, dude. So most of the ones we did were 3 hours or less, 2.5 hours or so. So we tested that with, then we've also done strongman contests that are teams, where it's red team, blue team. Each competitor only does one event. And then that becomes very easy to get high level competitors to come in, because you will not pull me out of retirement for a 5-event contest. I'm too beat up, I'm too old. You might get me out to rip a log around. You know what I'm saying? That may happen. But then you can get some big names, big people, big freaky people that maybe aren't going to stick out the whole thing. That is a very spectator friendly event. That might have been the most like riled up crowds we've ever seen. And that ends up being a home run. Megan had then hosted one here at Massonomics as well about 1.5 years ago. And I think with 40 competitors, give or take, done start to finish in 2 hours and 15 minutes. So anybody who says it needs to take longer than that, just quit letting these lifters be divas and babies and just fucking say, no, you're going to be up when you're up. So when your weight class gets up, it's fucking on you. So just be warm, get warm, pay attention. But I'm not stopping this event so you can get your second turn of warming up with the yoke. Just fucking warm up, princess. I thought you were a big, strong guy. So it's a super, if you can frame your events like that, by the way, most of the lifters really appreciate it. All of them said maybe they wish they had a little more rest time. Not a one of them who traveled sure wished that the event took an hour longer before they got to turn around, drive back home. And every single person in attendance was able to stay the whole time. And if you want to grow the that sport within your community and get better eyes and do this from year to year and have it continue to grow and have it become a very big thing within your town as well as your gym, making a spectator friendly event is the best thing to do. I love these things as tests of strength and tests of fitness, but there's nothing worse for the sport than something that's that pretentious and does not deliver any entertainment value.
Well, because already it's weird.
Yeah.
Like you have to accept, like, if you're not one of us, right? If you're not one of us, this is stupid.
Mm-hmm.
This is dumb. This is stupid. This isn't interesting. You all are dumb. But if you get somebody who wants to come out and like, let me check it out. You will, if it is fun, people will be like, well, I don't know what the fuck that they're doing, but like, it was a party. Like it was a gas. Like it is the last thing you want to do is have people start to be, well, I'll check it out because it's brand new to your area, right? I can't, like in our area, we participated in a powerlifting meet that was the first powerlifting meet, according to anyone that's lived here for the last 50 years, that has ever happened that involved any teens allowed to be involved at all. And they said it never had happened before. Thank God no one came to it.
Yeah.
Because it was terrible. It was terrible. Now they didn't know what they were doing. And it just was like a dude doing his best to like test a thing out. But there was like 5 people there. Yeah. So it's really important that if you want to continue to grow something and be able to have people come in and be interested, the last thing you ever want to do is have people show up.
Yeah. So we want to talk then about the application. That was our kind of wrap up of our experience with the events that I've participated. Go ahead, John.
There's one thing that like we didn't talk about, which is I think really endears like the people that are the participants or the families or whatever. And it's what the Massonomics dudes did before the actual event and then after the event.
Oh, yes.
And it goes really hard. Like they're already their mantra of the idea of like lift hard, live easy. So there's always this concept of like, we're going to do some hard shit, but then we're going to fucking party.
Yeah.
And I think that was really
They hosted a full kind of like for the people. Now, Grand Massonomics, a bit of a different brand than just there being some like regular USAPL meet going on in your town, right?
Right.
But there was kind of a party the night before, little gathering, right? Have some pizza, whatever. And then afterwards, after the event itself, there was a fully hosted at a bar after party. And by the way, that after party isn't something that like took a ton of work. It was just, hey, you let the bar know we're going to be here. Like you kind of, and that's it. Like it's not like they set up fucking appetizers for us or anything. But having it become a socially endearing experience as opposed to just a entertaining experience is what takes this to the very next level. Now, for those of you as gym owners, I think it's very important to know if you're going to host an event, I would like you to maybe keep those things that I just described in mind, right? The problem is hosting competitions like that is fucking hard. Doing it in your gym is really hard. Doing it yourself is really hard if you're the gym owner. It is a lot of damn work. If you don't have the ability to delegate out or kind of like give this project to somebody where you can kind of just work with them on it, there's a lot of work. One of our coaches in the Gear Academy has done this for weightlifting meets. And he's had them in the past. He says it's just such a damn headache and it jams up their gym a lot. And maybe their gym space isn't ideal for it. And it was just so much work that he kind of took a few years off of it. But now it's like they found a different location to do it at. It's more of a, I think if you're not associated with the gym, with that specific gym, it just feels like an event, a contest, which is great. That means you can attract people from all different types of work life to the contest instead of just to a gym to go do a gym thing. But it's a lot of damn work. So there are other ways to get kind of the same benefits, these social benefits of having a big contest and having everybody coming in, having fun, having a good time. And we'll cover a few of these here today. So one of them is you can do a lot of these things via just outings, right? I think regular, good old fashioned social outings. We were talking with, matter of fact, the same coach, the same gym owner in our group the other day. And he said, he was like, God, I don't know what to do. Cause you always feel like you have to put this thing together. Like I have to plan a trip and they're like trying to make everything fitness focused. And I said, well, maybe just why don't you guys just let people know, like it doesn't have to be everybody's going to go to this type of thing. Just say, hey, we're going to go here to this place, let's go support this local business and just hang out as a group. Anyone wants to go, just let us know, RSVP, and we'll meet you there. You get 10, 15, 20 people, whatever. It's cool. Those 20 people had a great time with people from their gym and it's a home run. And he was like, oh shit, that probably sounds like an all right idea. It's a lot less planning. It's a lot less bullshit. And what do? They're just like, all right, let's go to the comedy club. There's a comedy club. There's a comedian we know. And then boom, 25 so people go in and all of a sudden they're pretty valuable to this comedy club that night. Right. And they're a good group of beautiful people out having a good time and they're spending money. So now that comedy club owner, the bar owner, whoever it is now, that is a big value add to them that you've added. You're now like patronizing their business. You're supporting the thing. Your people are having a good time. It's a win-win across the board. And it gives you the opportunity to start to further those relationships. It doesn't cost him any money. Like everyone paid their own way. Now, granted, it's not a money maker for you. But having your people be fit and beautiful out in the town, right? And people asking and talking about who you are, where you're from. We talked about a very real organic form of true networking that's not fake. And that's one of the many ways, right? I think that definitely fits the bill.
Because you got to know that the comedy owner, you will become a referral. He will become a referrer.
Yeah.
Right. Because it's make sure that they're aware. Like if you haven't like reached out, which you probably won't, right? Going to a comedy club or whatever, and everyone's buying their own ticket. But afterwards, it's taking a few steps of like tagging the company on social and be like, we had a great time, shooting them an email, like whatever, shooting them a message. Like there's just not that much follow-up that can happen afterwards that will really allow to make sure that you got the proper visibility, which is we had a great time here. We can't wait to come again. So it is clear. Like it is. We had 25 people come out. It was awesome. It was great. We had a great time. Like it allows, again, it just is, you're opening the doors, you're planting these seeds all over the place compared to where, and like, just like you said, it's literally no work other than showing up.
And I'm also okay with contacting them ahead of time too. Like that's always a good one. Like, hey, we're bringing, so we got right now we got 15 confirmed, might be 20, 25. Let them know ahead of time that they should be prepared and also pretty fucking appreciative. Because if I show up with me and my wife, I'm spending 2 people's worth of money. That's it. If I roll in 30 deep and they know that my business is the reason for it, that is worth 30 times as much as my big ass walking into them.
There's an element too that I really like, which is as you start to think about or brainstorm, like where you would want to go, whether locally or whether you're going to travel or whatever, it's thinking about the people, either who you are and who you want to be attracting, right? Understand that like if the comedy club is your scene And is the people that you go and that come to your gym a larger percentage of people, at least that you'd want to spend time with, like that kind of comedy? You're walking into a place where there are more people that could be members of your spot.
Yeah.
So just as you choose these different locations, need to understand that you are knowingly putting you and your members in a position to have their best foot forward and to have the highest opportunity to have people say, we were at the bar for the Massonomics thing.
Yeah.
People wanted to know if there was a bouncer convention that had come into town.
Yeah. Why are all these huge jack dudes here? What is going on? Why is everyone wearing such tight clothes? Is this a gay thing? Why are these guys wearing Speedos in the bar?
There's a bunch of bears that all have shown up.
It looked like a bear convention. I did have a very old woman come and ask my wife while I was standing there. She's pointing at my shorts and goes, "Is this some kind of gay thing?"
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So, but that is right. That is the power that you end up having, because then people do ask, because people are fucking nosy.
Yeah.
So it's just like, why are you all here? Why do you all look the way you look? Why is this happening? And then immediately be like, oh, this is what it is. And then it is such an easy conversation starter that's way more fun in the right place, where you already are connecting with people on a totally different level than, do you want to come to my gym?
Yeah. Now there's also fitness focus outings. And I still think this can be things that are essentially free. This is also you going to other businesses, right? I think what a great opportunity if you're a CrossFit gym, take your people, reserve time to go to a local kickboxing gym, go hit some bags, or go, you know what I mean? If you get 30 people together and you hire your local martial arts instructor to come do a fun little thing with your group, what a great way to bring people together, do something different. It's a thing that I think that the sport, or that the philosophy of what CrossFit was originally got so right, was that it involved the phrase, and try new sports.
Yeah.
You should always be trying something new, active, because over the course of your life, you never know what's going to click. You never know when you're going to get bored of the thing. And if you get bored of the thing and you have been very standoffish towards trying other things, you're going to run out of fucking things to do, dude. And so I think it's really good if you're in the functional fitness space or any sort of more community focused fitness space, right? Where you're doing group classes, semi-private stuff that may be tough to execute on a 24-hour things. People are maybe a little less connected, but I still wouldn't advise against it, for sure. But anything like that, a fitness focused outing that it fits your brand. You are doing fit things. So instead of it being like, let's go out to the bar, have an after party, which I still am totally on board with, this is something that maybe doesn't compromise your diet. It maybe appeals to someone who's like, I don't drink, or I really don't like dirty comedy, or I'm not into that kind of stuff. But I'm here to get fit. And you know what? This sounds like a fun addition. And I think that's a great way to involve your people, as well as things like hikes, water, have a beach day where maybe you just plan a few activities that you do. Like, we're going to have some fun little sand thing, or a swimming contest, like an open water swimming thing that's not stuffy and not an actual contest, but like, here's a few things we're going to do this day. Bring yourself out there. It's all just going to be a fun day. Don't overstay your welcome with a lot of these things. Come in, get out. And these are the things that people will remember 5 years from now about your gym.
And it is such easy networking. Like, we can't overstate that enough, because it is, especially if you're a fitness thing, there is still, as you all know, there's still a really, really weird relationship that you all have in your local communities with other people that do fitnessy things. And it's what sucks, in my opinion. Yeah. It's the reason why we started this whole thing, was all you motherfuckers were all trying to do the exact same thing, no matter where you were on planet Earth around 2019. Mm-hmm. And none of you were talking to each other. Like, some fucking gym in Perth, Australia is somehow going to have, is going to one up you when you live in Des Moines.
Yeah.
Like, get the fuck out. Like, talk to each other, because you're all trying to figure out the same thing. It's going local too. So locally, it's stop having a scarcity mindset. Like, there's not enough people in your town to go around.
Yeah.
And if you truly are coming from the right place, which is you genuinely want to help humans, it's who else wants to do this too. So it's if you have a BJJ place that's in town, or you have whatever, who the fuck, like karate places, whatever these places are that are like, I love the idea where if I have a spot, to have someone come in and just expose my people to it, like
Mhm.
it's such an easy gesture of, because technically you could take this from the standpoint of, well, I don't want some dude, like, so if I have somebody come in, they're paying me to work out with me for twice a
Yeah.
week or once a week or 3 times a week, and now I'm going to bring a fox into the hen house to
I
steal
don't
my
want to
members.
I don't want to take my people to this other place where they might have fun with a bunch of people who are the reason that they're not leaving to go to that place anyways. What the fuck, guys?
Come on.
So I think but that category, right? You can have a social focus outing and then fitness focus outings. I think the reason we're covering each of these bases here is that you don't have to do one of them exclusively, and it also means that when you're doing, you should do a few a year types of things at least, and that way they don't always have to be the same thing. 'Cause sometimes we'll talk to gym owners
Absolutely.
about it, and they'll just be very surprised that oh yeah, I could just do that. It's always a barbecue. It's always a fucking barbecue with you guys, and I'm okay with it. I love meat and stuff,
Yeah.
but it's always like, we'll have a barbecue. Well, that seems like it's okay, but that's like a very narrow experience. Having a barbecue in the
Exactly.
back of your gym, I
It's
don't know. That's wonderful, but that's not my fucking like sweet idea of an awesome time. There's many other things out there to be experienced, and that's how. Again, if you keep doing that, nobody's gonna fucking talk about that. I'm sorry.
and it's
Those
the only
people aren't going to their job the next day or
no.
the next Monday and go, "What'd you do this weekend?" Oh, we had this barbecue. It was a blast. It was this totally new. I've never had burgers on a grill while standing up holding paper plates.
And he
Never.
also, it only confirms that you're a cult,
Yeah.
right? It only just continues to strengthen, be like, so you had the weekend, you worked out at the place Monday through Friday, and then on your free time, you hung out with the exact same people at the same place. Yeah,
And
but we
didn't
ate
do
this
anything
time.
cool.
And so that's where it is. It allows you want to be able to be like remembered, have people be able to be talk about it. But also, if you continue to do the same thing over, you're only attracting just that one slice of even your own gym
Yeah.
to enjoy it. So it is be really purposeful where it's like, okay, we've done something that is for these types of people. Now, what about these types of people? Like, what are the different avatars? What are the types of styles of people that you like in your spot? And are you doing something for them?
Yeah.
And more importantly, who, like, if you want to grow, like, not, I don't want to derail it and push it towards too much marketing, but it is, understand that this is all part of it. This
Yeah.
is like, it is cloak and dagger style marketing of
They
like,
serve two functions. The first function is retention. This is at its most core, it is a retention strategy. It's my people need to feel connected to the people in my gym, and that's the way it needs to be. This is how I keep people warm and fuzzy. This is how people go, why do you go to this gym? The community is better, right? That's the one function that this serves. The other function is marketing. This is in hopes of getting eyes, getting attention, and getting people talking, that over the long term, your spot is the spot that's fun, the spot that does things together, the spot that looks like they do all sorts of different things, and there's different types of people, and you're out in the town, in your community, representing yourself, your gyms, and your community. That's the second function that it serves that I think is very important. Now, there's events that we talked about. Talk competitions, with kind of being competitions that you host, that you're doing. Don't sleep on doing other people's stuff too, right?
mhm.
If another gym is doing it, go in, whoop their ass, do whatever you got to do. But also can go for just other competitive things that can give you something to focus your training within your gym at for a while, whether that is a marathon, a half marathon, a fun run, whether there's a triathlon going on, whether there's whatever else is going on in your community. I think participating in those types of mostly fun, maybe some highly competitive contests as a gym, not everybody, but like, put a call out to your people, the ones that want it, go do it, because they will represent you there. Hopefully they represent you well. Again, that makes you and your people very visible within your community. Um,
All of the positives that we talk about, like the social non-fitnessy side of things, where you're just out and about in the right places. That's where it ends up being like through osmosis, you're going to generate leads, like just
yeah,
people seeing like, oh, that's really cool, like whatever. But when you come into this area, like the arena of like competitions or fitness-based events where you're going to go to those things, you have people that like to fitness.
yeah,
So it is a very warm or hot market. And I was talking to a gym owner that owns a boxing spot in town. By a boxing spot, I mean it's a small garage under a tattoo parlor, right? That's
yeah,
locally in town because one of my sons wants to get into boxing. So we've asked a guy who asked a guy and was like, well, this is the spot. We showed up. We're like, oh, holy
Nice.
shit. This
Yeah.
is awesome. So that's where we're at. Come to find out, they've exploded with people coming to this little garage in the last 2 weeks, because the last competition that they went to that was 45 minutes away, every fighter on the card, one of the fighters was from their spot. And everyone was like, you realize that if your gym didn't show up, we're using gym loosely, your gym didn't show up, we wouldn't have a fight tonight. Like there it was so many competitors. So it's like, we are here, like the folks that were local, they're like, we're 10 minutes down the road and we couldn't even get 2 fighters. Well, we couldn't even get 2 fighters to sign up.
Yeah.
And you guys brought like 12. And it was like, so immediately people started, they want to come check out the spot. So just the power of like showing up and showing out, it's a little bit like you got to make sure you don't suck. So if you show up, you got some athletes that do some things, that starts to turn heads and gives people the excuse to come check you out.
Yeah. So we talked in-house competitions that you host, that you run, that are happening, right? We also talked going to other people's contests because it represents your gym out there. The one that probably takes equal work as much work as hosting an actual contest yourself is hosting a non-competition event. And we talk about things like open houses, or kind of like just a fun fitness day, or whatever this is that goes on location. That is almost exclusively to attract new people. Okay, and it does serve a very different function. But I think that those events are really, we've had so much success having gyms just run a yearly open house. You treat them almost the same way as a contest, right? I want you to get sponsors. I want you to sell booths to vendors. I want you soliciting for raffles and giveaways. I need you to get as many names on lists as you possibly can, names, email, stuff like this, so that you can have everyone come in and have a good time. We did one in the Northeast a while back that we kind of helped facilitate that. They did a really good job. Tons of giveaways, ton of people came, food truck. It was probably 40% of the people in attendance were not members of the gym
for sure
for the course of the day. And that was really good. They brought in fitness instructors from not that gym.
That was not their spot. I really liked that.
Mm-hmm. They just brought in a Zumba instructor to have fun. They brought a HIIT coach in there. You can do all sorts of neat stuff in a big, large group setting that has a wide appeal to people, appeals to a wide amount of people. But then it's not going to they know that's not the thing that you do there, but they know you don't think it's stupid, which means then they like you. If I'm going to go to a Zumba thing and there's a bunch of CrossFit people hanging out doing it, I then might be interested in going to that CrossFit gym, right? Because oh yeah, they tried my thing. That looked like fun. They seem like nice people. Then you talk to them and relate to them on a human level. And now you're very, very warm towards that location. Then you won some gift basket. Maybe you didn't, but then you just get a little follow-up email with a nice email or text with a very nice, slick, easy introductory offer. We're like, you know what? Yeah, fuck yeah, I'll come try it. Right. That's you. If you play that game times 100 people, God, it'll be the most productive day you have in your business.
It also opens the door so easily to where a lot of you have gyms that you're paying quite a bit of money for it to be empty.
Yes. Yeah.
So because that, we all know that that's a problem, quote unquote, and you also can't find anyone to hire right now because that's a problem. So, but you already have Zumba instructors and yoga, like you have all these people that are around. And so it's an easy way when you hold these types of events where you get to kind of just test run somebody in a spot.
Yeah.
Or again, you're planting a seed where it's like, hey, would you want to pop in on like a Saturday at this time? Like, or hold a thing. Like, I can't tell you how many breweries, because we in Virginia where I'm at, we have a craft brewery every 2 miles.
Yeah.
I cannot tell you, at least 90% of them all have yoga on Saturdays. And if you do the yoga class, you get a free pint.
Yeah.
It just comes with so it's like they figured out that this was a slow time. This was a brewery is kind of slow on Saturday at 8 a.m.
Yeah.
Surprise. So it's easy to bring in people that may be there, maybe not there, but they're going to yoga somewhere. And I have a wide open space where I can have people yoga here. So to be able to test that and bring those different populations into your world to where, hey, maybe if this person really does have the draw, because that's also another piece. You don't know. People oversell and underdeliver all goddamn day. So a DJ that's going to come may act like they have a pool, or if a Zumba instructor or whoever has pool and they act like, and then fucking 2 people show up. Well, it's a lot less work for you to just kind of plug them into a slot of time on an open house than trying to like build it up and then sell it and then nobody fucking shows up. And then it's like, well, people just don't like yoga. It's like, that's not a thing.
Yeah. And some of them, guys, you can do them just because they're fun. And then you can figure out what the reward is after the fact. Right. So we have one of our Gear Academy gyms hosts a full on DJ costume party twice a year in the gym, to the point where then the DJs came back and like, yo, can we use your spot again? And he's like, yeah, fuck it. Yeah, I ain't open. But it allows him to be there. It allows their members to be there. They all have a really good time. Guys, people having fun in your building, around your people and with your people. That's like the secret sauce here, because that's what's going to keep them there. If you can get them to experience that first, instead of just telling them about it, which fucking always fails. Don't ever tell anybody how great your community is. Nobody gives a shit.
No.
Okay? They can either experience it or they're going to think you're lying or trying to get them to join your cult. But if I go to a party at a spot and I have a really good time with these people, I don't even need to hear it. It's like, all right, yeah, this is kind of cool. It can compel you to join. You'll already have social connections. It makes it like joining a spot that a friend's already going to. Okay, and I think that's a great idea. Speaking of DJs, one of our spots in Europe that I used to go to a lot would have Friday nights off. I think it's every other Friday night. They just have a DJ come in. This is a 24-hour gym or a public open gym. No real coach products there. So there'd just be a DJ and like dim lights and lights just dropping.
That's awesome.
Like those things are a really good time. So there's. Again, I think you can stick to the standard staples. Guys, have a barbecue on Memorial Day.
You are allowed to barbecue still.
Memorial Day week. You can totally have barbecue, but there's more to it than that. I just think there's more to it. And you can have, if you're a CrossFit gym, have your in-house CrossFit contest once a year, and you bring other gyms in and whatever. You can do that. You can level that up, or you can keep it small. But I think filling in the gaps with some of these other easier to execute things, I think that really warms the whole situation up and really changes it, because the things I just described for you, the yearly functional fitness contest and the yearly barbecue, are shit that every single goddamn gym does. So like, what are you doing at this point other than just like, hey, our toilets work, come join us. We got water. I mean, it just says it's not any different. So and when we talk about, again, the book, Conversational Capital, how to create things that people will talk about, you can't just be doing the same shit that everyone else is doing. So your friend, you and your people go have a great night out at a comedy club, and then you bop around. What a great fun night with your gym, as opposed to like your wife's stupid friends who you hate going out with, or your husband's obnoxious pals from college who he gets to see twice. Like, that blows. It might be an exceptional social event for you. And doing enough of those different types of things, pepper in the fitness stuff, the social stuff, the in-house, the external stuff. Now you got a package over a year that's still relatively easy to manage, easy to plan, doesn't cost you a bunch of money. Do that over the course of a couple of years, and I think you're going to have a very different reputation and a very different connection to your members. All better.
And when you're thinking about that list of all the things that we just talked about and that you just listed out, compare that to how you're trying to acquire new people right now. What are the things that you're doing?
They're less fun for you.
They suck. Most of them just totally suck, right? It's like the majority of the people
who don't want your shit.
Yeah, so either you're cold DMing people that have liked something or have commented on a post. So now you just are creeping into their DMs that way.
Yeah.
Or you're running ads, which right now, what we're seeing is like Facebook is eating a plate of dicks right now when it comes to ads across the board. And we're not the only people that are seeing it. I'm starting to see it across. Everyone's like, is there something that's happened like the last couple of months? It's like everyone just eating shit when it comes to ads. So you're running ads. And if you're not eating a plate of shit, then God bless you. But that's the only other way you're doing it. And then referrals. So it's like your referral play based off of people that just already are members of the gym, and you kind of just ask. And they're all important. All three of these things are important. But the problem is we just listed for fucking 40 minutes. Some really genuinely interesting or fun ways to go about acquiring leads. That's so much better than you trying to get people excited about a free fucking class on Saturday that you're going to show up to at a park and no one shows up to.
One that I missed on here too as well is cooking classes. Okay. You don't have to attend one that's already on a schedule. There's someone that puts those on. Now you have a group. Okay. So one, you'll all get a better rate. Two is it'll be just you and your people. What another great opportunity for you to deliver real value for your people as well. So what I want to hear from you guys out there. So we've talked about a ton of different things, but what I want to hear from you guys is send us a DM or post in the Facebook page, Gym Owners Revolution Facebook page. Post some of these unique ideas that you've had. Let us know if there's different things that you've done. You go to the gun range. Like, what are some of the ones that have one? I want to know what's the most fun. All of you out there, tell me what the most fun one that you guys have done that was the blast, and then which one was the most productive as far as like kind of getting you new members. Right.
Yeah.
And I want to know and any unique cool ideas that you've had, because one, good ideas should be shared first off, and two, I'm just really interested in hearing, because we have a big network of gyms that we work with on a daily basis, and it is really nice to give them a laundry list of ideas out there. You guys should be sharing this stuff with all other gym owners, right? Share it with us so we can share it with ours, because not everything is for everybody. Taking people to the gun range is not going to be for your gym, maybe, especially if you're up in Canada, guys. But but for some guys, it'd be like, oh shit, I never thought about that. That rules, and I got members here that have this, and they can maybe facilitate for a few that can't. And there's a lot of cool ideas out there to be had, and I think you should try as many of them as possible. So that's what we got for today. Thanks for listening. Hope you all had a good time. Again, let us know your cool ideas for your cool events, in-house, external, competition wise, and socially focused and fitness focused outings. Please hook us up. So thanks for listening. We want you to go to gymownersrevolution.com. Make sure you go to the Facebook group, links in the description. Follow the show at the Gym Owners Podcast on Instagram. Follow me at Tyler F. and Stone. That's Tyler EFF I and Stone. And John?
Follow me at JBanksFL.
All right, guys, that'll do it for today. Make sure you share the show, like the show, do all the things that you need to do with the show. Visit the website. Thank you very much. Bye.